Alrighty. Get the old Pumas on. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the Ageless Wonder, and we are back with another GT7 stream. And today we are going to check out a daily race, which was on GT Sport before I got into the VR part. The daily races were mainly what I played on GT Sport and mainly what I was looking for on GT7. And when they got the daily races up and running, you had a daily race A and B were functional, but daily race C was not up and running yet. Now daily race C is up and running. It is a GT3 race. I believe it is 10 laps at Daytona. And I was going to go enter that race, but discovered something that that I thought might be a little bit questionable. So, Artist, what's up? Rheumatoid Artist, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. Let's find the stream real quick, and then we'll save what I was currently watching for later. Okay. So what we're going to do is over here at Sport. This is where you go for the daily races. So you're going to go into Sport mode. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So here we are. At daily race C. So here's the parameters of this race. It is a Group 3 race, or as I prefer to say, GT3. The power has to be 542 horsepower or less. The car must weigh a minimum of 2,976 pounds. Nitrous cannot be installed. Great. Tire choice. Let's see here. It looks like they give you a choice between racing hards, intermediates, and wet. So we go to the car that I was going to use. We're going to change cars. Naturally, I want to use my Ford GT. Now, here's where things got a little bit funny. The Ford GT that I'm going to use meets the parameters, but it did not start out that way. It is a GT3 car. It meets that category. Power. It has 506 horsepower, so we get a check mark there. The weight. It's 2,976 pounds. This car originally weighed about 2,600 pounds. So this car was ineligible to join the race. Well, come to find out that you have two choices. You either use a car that meets these parameters, or you go add weight to the car. So let's change cars again and use one of my other cars. This one has too much power. This one has too much power. This one right here has enough. It falls below the power, but right there, it's 2,976 pounds. This is below that. This car weighs 2,535 pounds. So what I have to do, the entry period starts in 10 minutes. When you go to enter it'll tell you that your car is ineligible, and then they'll give you a hint as to what you can do to make the car eligible. So what I have to do right here, you see that it's flashing 2976 for the weight. The car is not heavy enough, so I have to leave and go over here to the tuning shop. And let's see here, right there, ballast. What that does is for adjusting vehicle weight, and it's also effective for adjusting weight balance. So basically, I have to buy this to make the car heavy enough to meet the requirements of that race. So I got to spend 500 credits to meet the requirements. So I go over here, purchase it for 500 credits. Now we go back to the race. So we go over here to race C again. The car still shows that it's not heavy enough. So what I have to do is go into car settings, go to detailed settings, go over here to ballast, and this is measured in kilograms. So now we hit the measure. So the car is 2844, so I got to add a little bit more. 2873, got to add a little bit more. 2946. 2976 right there on the button. The car is now eligible to race. That doesn't set in well with me, where this is supposed to be a daily race generated by the game itself. That doesn't set in well with me, because with daily races on GT Sport, everybody was on the same playing field. You pick a car within the category. I can't remember if you could tune the car or not, but everybody had the choice of tires that they wanted to use. Now, when it comes to the tires, your tire choice is racing hards, intermediates, or wet. So I go into my car settings, and I'm using racing hards. And it's the only tires that I have. Now, in the case of my Ford GT, I have racing softs on the Ford GT, but that makes the car ineligible. So what I'm wondering is, since I'm on racing hards, everybody knows this a hardcore sim racer knows that racing hard racing tires, they last, but they do not have the grip of soft tires. So now what I'm wondering is, do I go back? So the intermediate tires are going to give me my best grip out of the tires that they're letting you choose from. So let's go to the tuning shop. So we're going to go to racing, racing medium, racing hard. Whoops, let's go back. My bad. Right there, intermediate tires, $28,000. Let's put these on here. Let's buy them. Okay. They are on the car now. So let's go back and see if we are still eligible to race. Yes, I'm still eligible to race. I don't like this. So So now here's where the shitty part comes in. And this is where I find this to be a monetization scheme. Okay, so look, this race is 10 laps. Let's say it rains right in the middle of this race. I don't have wet tires because I didn't buy any for the car. So if it should happen to rain, I'm screwed. You you won't be able to come into the pits to get wet tires if you didn't already have them, if you didn't already purchase them. So, for the sake of curiosity, what I'm going to do is we're going to jump back into my Ford GT. Okay, so that meets the requirements right there. Now let's go to car settings because I had to add ballast to that car too so I can make the car heavy enough to compete. So let's go into the car settings. Now right here, tires. I've got racing hards on here. Now, you see where that spot is blacked out right there? Racing softs, because I bought those. Now the car is ineligible because I put the racing softs on there. If I go back and put the racing hards back on there, now I'm eligible. But anybody who's using intermediate tires are going to have better grip than me if I stick with these racing hard tires. So now I have to go back to the tuning shop. Go to extreme. So now I'm going to put, you know what, just out of curiosity, because the money's not really an issue, because I obviously got a good chunk of change because I bought a microtransaction for $2 million. And then I've been winning races where I have not been spending money to juice my car up. Because when you do these menu books and you compete in these races, you end up, all the money that you would have won, you end up spending that money juicing the car up in an effort to try to win first place. It can be done without juicing the car up, depending on what car you use, but it's not going to be easy because the game always starts you at the back. So let's go get the heavy wets. 28,000 for this. Now let's go back and see if that still makes me eligible for this race. Well, look at that. I'm still eligible with the wets. Now, here's the thing about it. Anybody knows anything about sim racing knows that if you use wet tires on a dry ground, you will burn those tires up within 2 laps. If the game doesn't simulate blowing out the tires, you will lose all grip. And then if you look at the fuel usage and tire wear, tires wear out at a rate of 15 times. 15 times, I believe, the normal amount. That being said, if I use these wet tires, I probably won't last 2 laps. So if I go to the racing hard tires, they will last the entire race, but I will not have the grip as somebody who's using the intermediate tires. So what does that mean? To make sure I'm covered for this race, I basically have to make sure I have all 3 of those tires. So whatever the conditions that come up, I can make sure I'm covered. So now I have to go back. I have to go back to the tuning shop. Go to the stream. So now we're going to go ahead and buy the intermediate tires for another 28,000. Well, now that the intermediate tires have been equipped on the car. So I guess this is supposed to be the perfect combination for wet and dry mixed conditions. So these tires may not last the entire race. So let's go back to the daily race. So now I'm still eligible. And then let me see here. We can enter a race now, so let's enter. I've entered the event, so we've got about 14 minutes before the race starts. Let's go into our car settings. Right there, you see I'm on the intermediates. Oh, I did not mean to do that. And the car takes you through the pits automatically. You don't steer where you're at in the pits. All right, let's do something else. Let's adjust the steering radius. So I have it set at 900. Oh, it's set at 6. Uh, see here, we take the force feedback up to 65, and then in game. Let's see here, controller settings, force feedback, steering sensitivity. Okay, so what happened there? All right, let's see what's going on here. Question: you are using intermediates on a dry track when you should really be using the racing hard tires. At this point, I am just feeling out the tires. This doesn't mean I'm going to go with the tires. I'm basically feeling this out. And then the other thing to keep in mind is that we don't know what the weather's going to be like for this race. I could easily start out with the racing hard tires, and if it rains, then I would come in and get the either the intermediate tires or the wet tires. Now, the intermediate tires are supposed to be a mixture of racing hard tires and wet tires, so they're basically supposed to be in all conditions tires. So I think it would be fine if I wanted to stick with those tires. I might even trust those tires more than I trust the hard tires. Because when it comes to racing tires, the hard tires, they last the longest, but they have the worst grip. Oh boy. So it stopped me because I went off the track. Whoa. Ah. I would much rather use this angle because it's much more immersive, but that left support bar makes it hard to see the track through the left end to the left. Let's retry. So we got about 4 minutes left. Let's go ahead and have a look at the assist. Let's go ahead and have a look at the hard tires, because I do believe that the intermediate tires will give you better grip than the hard tires, but the hard tires will last the whole race. I was about to say, what happened? So, all right. What kind of warm up is that? Holy shit, I'm starting in 19th place? Only thing I can say at this point is just try to stay clean and just gamble that some of these other guys are going to wipe out. And I didn't tune this car either. See if I can slipstream him. Yeah, it looks like I paid the price for not tuning this car. Go ahead, keep fighting up there. Shit. Oh, what the fuck? And here it is, about to serve my penalty right here. I'm already down to a half a tank, so I'm definitely gonna have to come in. I might be able to catch that Supra. I might be able to pick up some ground on them at the bus stop. Do we stay with the hards? Wait a minute. And it's getting dark too. Ham VR was good, my guy. They're human. Hey, you must have hit me. That dude must have hit me. I'm definitely not gonna catch him now. Not unless he make a mistake. I love those pit animations, though. I've always liked that about GT Sport. Oh shit! I was trying to look at my tires. What the fuck? It won't let me go. I'm stuck. We might as well cancel this. I'm stuck. It won't let me go. I don't know if that was an issue with a compatibility issue with my wheelbase, or something within the game would not let me get back on the track. That was some bullshit, but it is what it is. Entry deadline. Another race is in 8 minutes. Probably not going to do that race because I think I'm going to do a low fuel motorsports daily race on a set of Corsa Competizione. But I do want to say that that does not set in well with me, being that I had to go off and buy the necessary tires to make sure I was covered in this race. I had to go off and buy the ballast to add more weight to the car, and then I had to buy 2 sets of tires, the intermediate tires and the wet tires. So I spent about $50,000 to make my car be able to meet the parameters of this race. And that's not going to go over well with me, because what if it had rained in this race and I didn't have the wet tires? I would have been screwed. So, and I guess if it would have rained and I wouldn't have had the wet tires and I would have came in dead last, the first thing would have came out of my mouth is that I never had a chance because I didn't buy the wet tires. That does not go over well with me. In open lobbies where people set the parameters of how they want the race to go, yeah, fine. I can live with that, with, okay, this guy wants me to have this type of car and I need to go get these type of parts. to meet the parameters. But for a daily race that's generated by the game itself, where I have to go buy parts or go buy the necessary upgrades to be able to compete in that race, that does not go over well with me. And that explains, I mean, GT Sport was generous in giving away cars. So is this game too. This game is generous in giving away cars too, but there's definitely a reason for it. Just about any car that they give you, you're not going to be able to compete in a race with that car being stock. You're going to have to pay to make upgrades to that car to make it competitive. To me, that sounds like a pay-to-win model. I don't like that. So, I guess in spite of all that, and in spite of me going off the track, and the game would not let my car get back on the track, I still had fun. So we'll do daily races again, but I'll definitely be picking and choosing what kind of races that I do, because I'm pretty much a GT3, GTE type of guy. So I'll pretty much be doing the Group C races. I just don't have any interest in using, like, okay, right here, a 78 horsepower car, like a Mini Cooper. I just don't have any interest in entering a race using these type of cars. I just don't. I would rather be in a race where we're using superior machines. And GT3, GTE, LMP1 cars, those are superior machines. So with that, I got as high as 10th place, and I think that guy, I think I got touched from the back and it spun me out, and that like knocked me all the way down to like 16th place. And pit stops obviously come into play in this game, because you see right there the fuel usage is 7 times normal. So I had to come in for 2 pit stops to get fuel. So I'm definitely fine with that. And I'm fine with the tire wear too. I just didn't like the part where I had to go buy the necessary upgrades in order to compete in this race. So with that, let me see, it is 2:25. I think I'm going to go ahead and end this stream and get set up for a Low Fuel Motorsports daily race. Also, this week, some streams that I'd like to do. Whether I actually get to them is another matter or not. I was monkeying around with Half-Life Alyx with some of the mods, and there's a couple of cool looking mods in there, so I might stream that, have a look at a couple of the mods. A little bit more contractors. That's been really fun lately, doing that on the Call of Duty maps. And what else was I planning? Basically like a shout out stream, because I've been on YouTube now. As far as being a content creator, I've been on YouTube now a little over 4 years, and a lot of people helped me get started. And I think what I want to do is go back and give those people a shout out, and look over my library. I've got over 1,400 videos, and like, we won't watch any of the videos, but I'll just show you the whole library and say, hey, when I did this stream, this is when I made the transition over to VR, or when I did this stream, this is what inspired me to go in this direction, that kind of stuff. So I definitely want to do that. And I think I've rambled on long enough. I am going to go ahead and boogie on out of here and get set up for a Low Fuel Motorsports daily race. And for those who wish to join me over there, we will see you there. The track, I believe, is still Laguna Seca. And we'll get set up for the next available race. With that, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you in a little bit on A Set of Corsa Competizione. Until then, you guys know the line. Wakanda forever, long live the king, and deuces.